Yo, what's poppin'? Your boy Thomas, and I'm here with a new microphone. Hopefully, it is good. I don't know, this is gonna be my first run. So, I just want to, before I went into my APAC previews, which will be up later tonight, I felt like it was needed to talk about the meta shifts that we saw from week 1 to week 2. Probably should have made this video earlier, but I was like, oh, there's not enough, don't need to. But even these little changes add up. So, I am gonna start off with Doom less than Winston. So we saw the Atlanta Rain lose 3 out of the Washington Justice pretty easily, and it looked Hawk was struggling on the Doomfist, right? He even swapped over to Diva to try and find a way around it, but he swapped back because Diva maybe not the one. But we saw that, yeah. So the question is, okay, well, is Winston just better than Doom? And then we see the Outlaws easily lose to Shock for the most part, as they did win a map, and the Ilios looked like it could have won Outlaws if some more things have gone right. But they also barely squeaked by the Mayhem, who, if they're like all right, I guess they're mid, but Outlaws probably want to be better than mid. So have teams figured out the Doomfist comp, how to beat it, stuff like that. So this also touches into the point below this one down here, right? Genji less than Tracer Echo, but Doomfist seems to be struggling very hard into the Tracer Echo compared to the Genji, and as Genji saw less playtime, it makes sense that Doom is worse as well, because the power block is just much less effective against Tracer and Echo, because Tracer just goes around the power block, like just and Echo is in the sky, so I don't know, you know. And then I guess I'll stay on the Doomfist. And then you also just lose to on a sleep dart, right? You get slept, you hit power block, you get slept, you get antied, you die. Uh, and then there's always the point that's been made the entire time that Doomfist can't hold any space compared to Monkey, right? He has the bubble. Doomfist just sits there and he will die. He can't hold the space. He has to take theirs. He has to take space. He can't hold it. He's extremely reliant on landing his key ability. The Monkey dives in and he still gets slept and he still dies. He still gets a bubble down, so he's still doing something even if he like doesn't physically do anything. Doomfist, he goes in, he gets out cooldowns, but if he doesn't actually get a punch or a slow off, he's done nothing. Monkey can guarantee do stuff, right? Even in dives. So let me touch on the Outlaws versus Rain, like how they're playing it. So Outlaws seem to want to set the tempo really fast and go in often, and to take quick engagements with their Doom. Dante goes in, he does as much as he can, but the Rain seem to like slow the play down more, and they are more looking for a counter dive if the enemy team goes first. So there's like two very different playstyles despite running the same main tank. And then of course you have the Outlaws running their Echo often, the Rain not as much. Uh, so in against Justice, they also wanted to play slow, and then they had a better comp to play slow. So the Doomfist was just kind of sitting around, but he can't do that, right? He can't really. It's no value. So yeah, and we've seen a little bit of gameplay from teams like the Gladiators. I believe Reiner was on Winston for a bit on the Coliseum, maybe some other times, but it was never the core goal. The composition, right? He would always switch back to Monkey, or start on Monkey, switch Doom, go back to Monkey again, and end up playing Winston more, right? So we've seen Doom maybe be figured out. Maybe the Doom teams will make another adaptation because that's how meta works. But from week 1 to week 2, that's what we've seen from Doom. Moving on to Genji. I don't know why. Hold on there. Okay. So now moving on to Genji has seen a lot less playtime, and we've seen Echo and Tracer get more of it. So while I believe that impacts the Doomfist, I don't think it's the core reason we're seeing less Doom. I think it just further amplifies it, right? So Tracer is still much more annoying than Genji for the backline to deal with. Genji, you see what he's gonna do. You can account for it almost. Tracer could be anywhere. Pulse bomb's a threat. Just much more annoying. There's more presence from Tracer, more consistent presence throughout a fight. Genji doesn't have the consistent presence. He has a lot of pressure at once, right? He dashes in, he does some stuff, right? But the pressure is not constant through the fight. So it's a bit of a different, like, Tracer can do more often, right? If that makes sense. And Echo, I believe Echo is better because if you're running a soldier and you're running a monkey, say, you don't want to have to nano your Genji because nano visor and nano monkey are probably just as good or better options. And so the Echo, the ultimate is better because you don't need to nano it. And I would still argue that she has a better neutral game than Genji. She has more off angles she can take. She can poke better. She can higher burst, higher burst. I can't speak. Uh, and I just think Echo is getting more value like that with the teams that are running. Echo's harder because dude in the sky, Ana has to do more, and you don't really want to commit a mercy to it. You see teams running Brig maybe with it. Uh, so Echo maybe is more difficult to get value off of, but I think we're seeing teams get solid value off the Echo in certain situations. And then moving on to Zarya comps being good. I've kind of downplayed Zarya comps throughout this entire season so far because I'm like, I don't know if I see the vision. But then Dallas looked very good on Zarya, and there's Zarya Reaper, right? Those are the two core characters: Zarya Reaper, Ana Lucio, and then the other one's like a flex pick. It could be a Tracer, it could be a Soldier, most likely Soldier. And it's not dissimilar to Rush. And it ultimately is probably the reason the fuel were ending up reverse sweeping Glads. And then we also see NYX will take a map win against Shock with it. But I think that was like a flash in the pan. Like you're not. That's I don't really put a lot of weight into that one map win because they got heavily outplayed the entire rest of the series. But it's not. It's not. It's not nothing. There's something there. Uh, and while Fuel, the only team that we've seen successfully run the comp because we saw Paris do it and that was awful. I believe we've seen Boston do it a little bit and it was good on Eichenwald, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, but then Hanbin said that APAC are running it. So that's kind of a reason I wanted to touch on this before I did the APAC vid. And it took so long because I wanted this mic because I didn't want to use the old mic because I think this one should be good. But yeah. So if APAC are running it more than the monkey, then it just is another tool in different APAC teams' arsenals. Like, will Soul be running Zarya with Smurf? I would wager probably not, but Smurf probably has a Zarya on him because you can't count out main tanks just because they haven't played off tanks, right? So yeah. And it seems that the bubbles are more meant for the Reaper than the Zarya, even though Zarya can bubble herself twice. The goal here is still to get Reaper the value, right? It's not to like you use them on Zarya if you have to, but if you are forcing the Zarya to use it, then you're diving the Zarya, and then the Reaper hopefully is doing his own thing. And then it's hard to switch targets. Like you can't just dive Zarya and say, "Oh, the bubble's out. Let's go to Reaper now." It doesn't work like that. Uh, so yeah, and another thing is the Fuel aren't playing inside of necessity. They have Fearless, so it's not like they lack a monkey player or anything. So that's all I wanted to say about the differences we saw from week 1 to week 2. I'm sure we'll see a lot of differences in week 3 with APAC now having their own meta. Though I might be able to do this like an APAC meta and a NA meta. Oh, my hand's not on screen. My bad. This one, yeah. So yeah, so maybe that'll end up happening. But I wanted to get this video quick so I could make sure this mic setting's good. I'm not re-recording this; it's going up. So expect an APAC win tonight too. Have a good one. Like, subscribe for new mic. It's your content.